Men should be either treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries, for heavy ones they cannot. That is your opening shot, the roar of authority echoing through the battlefield of respect. You know the sting, the moment you're brushed aside in a meeting, your idea dismissed, your presence ignored. In that fragile moment, the enemy rings the bell. Disrespect is blood in the water, and if you don't strike first, you become prey. Imagine a battlefield where silence shatters and chaos rises because you hesitated. That hesitation invites betrayal, ridicule, loss of your ground. One small flicker of disrespect, and the surrounding masses sense weakness. They swarm. Soon, the same cracks that let in the smallest insult become gaping divides in your empire. Think of historical commanders who shattered contempt with swift, uncompromising action. A general whose subordinate dared question the command, he delivered a decisive public reprimand, shattering doubt and stamping fear before dissent could spread. Now, picture that in your life. A colleague undervalues your contribution in front of others. You don't plot, you don't plead, you act. Your calm, measured response becomes the blade that cuts through the mockery. This is your war. Disrespect is not to be tolerated. You crown yourself with self-mastery as your only armor. You must become that figure people fear to cross, not because you issue threats, but because your presence alone demands reverence. Your silence becomes weightier than the loudest roar. Your control of your own mind, your reactions, your posture, they become weapons sharper than any sword. You command your throne by first mastering yourself. You do not permit disrespect to grow roots. You respond with precision and intent. Let your posture speak, unshaken, resolute. Let your words be few but lethal. Let your silence sift their precious bravado into crumbling dust. Every time you refuse to bend, every time you claim your space, you reclaim your power. You teach them, disrespect is the kindling that burns kingdoms. You starve it, crush it, extinguish it. Now, stand tall. You are the sovereign of your own realm. Let this be your oath. I am my own throne. Disrespect dies the moment I stand. Men are so simple of mind and so much dominated by their immediate needs that a deceitful man will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived. That's your starting gun, a ruthless reminder that unless you seat yourself firmly upon your own throne, others will gladly claim it for you. Your mind is that throne. If you surrender it, even for a moment, weakness seeps into the stones. Your inner voices are crowded courtiers, whispering doubts, excuses, and fragmented loyalties. Without command, chaos erupts. The great Stoic philosophers, from Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius, taught that virtue, clarity, and self-control are the pillars that uphold a ruler's domain. Your thoughts, your impulses, your reactions, they are not distractions, they are your subjects. Rule them without mercy. Imagine your mind's throne room. Here, the crown of authority is forged, not in bluster or noise, but in disciplined thought. You control your inner dialogue. You crush the whispers of hesitation before they bloom into full revolt. This is how you keep disrespect from taking root. If you tolerate indecision, your throne becomes a battleground. The war begins not in politics or boardrooms, but in your internal council. Self-discipline stands sentinel at the gates. Every distraction you ignore, every impulse you resist, every moment you choose focus over comfort, those are your guards. Without them, your reign weakens. Without discipline, your mind's throne stands empty, vulnerable to usurpation by stronger personalities, louder voices, and flashing distractions that erode your power. Picture a ruler who hesitates. That ruler loses. History is full of leaders who deluded themselves into believing authority was permanent. Caesar crossed the Rubicon, not with hesitation. He acted, and his decisiveness claimed the crown. That clarity, that self-command, is your weapon. So here's how you seize control. Master your self-talk. Every time your mind echoes defeat, counter with discipline. Interrupt doubt with calm authority. Reframe "I can't" into "I must." Fight the inner betrayal before the world notices. Strengthen your throne room guards. Build habits so rigid that nothing breaks them. A morning ritual, a moment of stillness, a vow of focus, each stands between you and the chaos. Occupy the throne fully. Stand tall in your decisions. Speak with precision. Act without hesitation. Let every thought, every reaction, bolster your sovereignty. You are not ruled by circumstance. You are not hostage to your own mind. You are the throne. Rule yourself, or be ruled. I am the throne. My mind surrenders to no one. Every morning in which you win is a victory over the chaos that awaits. That is your war cry before the sun even rises. The moment your eyes crack open, the battlefield is alive. Laziness, self-doubt, fear, they storm your gates before coffee hits your bloodstream. This is the prelude to conquest or collapse. Fail here, and the war of the day is already lost. In those first few minutes, the world is quiet. That silence is your advantage. A calm plain before the army's march. Modern psychology confirms what warrior poets have always known: routines cut through chaos. When you follow a morning ritual, you strip away indecision and conserve your mental ammunition. Leaders like CEOs and creators like Tim Ferriss ride this wave. If you win the morning, you win the day. That isn't fluff. It's the first strike that clears the field for everything to come. Think of dawn as an invasion. Your alarm is the trumpet. If you surrender to snooze, the enemy floods in. Your mind fogs, your will surrenders, and drops of hesitation become torrents of distraction. Hitting snooze is the general abandoning his post defeat before battle begins. Then comes the first strike advantage, a crisp, decisive ritual that slices through the fog. A cold plunge, a quiet walk, a few minutes of ruthless focus. CEOs like the head of Trivago block off the morning for uninterrupted, deep work problem solving or studying complex systems before the world demands your attention. This is not indulgence, it's weaponized clarity. Imagine that moment when you swing off the bed, clear-headed, resolute. You're the general swinging your sword, cutting through inertia. You align your posture, steady your breath, drop the echo of doubts. You are no longer a passive witness to your day. You're its commander. You feel the stakes in your bones. Miss this ritual and your whole day staggers like a wounded army. But when you claim the dawn, every minute that follows is territory already secured. Your mind sharpens. Decisions come fast. Distractions retreat like broken flocks before the wolf. You become the designer of your day, not its victim. So rise with purpose. Build a ritual that ignites your inner discipline. Awaken at a set hour. Hydrate. Move. Silence the noise. Choose your victory before the enemy does. Let your morning be the sword that severs doubt and fear. Stand in the quiet and carve your path before the world can interrupt. You win the first battle. You define the war. I own the dawn. My day falls or rises by my will. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. That is your first strike, a silent roar that echoes across the battlefield of negotiation and perception. Stillness is your weapon, and silence is your sharpened blade. In the wild, the predator's pause is everything. A lion does not charge at the first scent. It holds unmoved until the moment is ripe. That pause masks its intentions. It hides the power coiled within. In a crowded meeting, in the flicker of a conversation, your silence unsettles opponents. In that stillness, you are the predator waiting for the moment to strike. In negotiations, silence carves control out of air. Studies show that strategic pauses shift you from reaction to calculation, forcing others to reveal their hand. That brief gap between words, it fractures their rhythm. It draws secrets out. Silence turns pressure into leverage. Quiet becomes the court where truth is coerced from lips. You are not stalling, you're strategizing. Stillness gives timing. While they rush to fill the void with empty words, you observe, you analyze, you prepare your strike. In that silence, you see their tells, the quiver in their voice, the hesitation in their eyes, the urge to over-explain. Those who rush fall first, exposed, frantic, predictable. You, in contrast, are the shadow, the strike that arrives when they believe the threat has passed. You are not passive, you are deliberate. You plant mines in the quiet. Watch how panic makes opponents tip their hand. You are still, but lethal. Your silence is a blade sheathed until you draw it. Command your stillness. Hold your posture. Let your gaze lock without a word. Let silence stretch until they crumble. Take control of the battlefield of conversation. Let stillness be the weapon you wield. Let your quiet scrap the pretense from their armor. You are the still shadow that moves unseen. You are the sword that waits to fall. You are the predator in the silence. I strike in silence. My stillness is steel. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. That is your first strike, a silent roar that echoes across the battlefield of negotiation and perception. Stillness is your weapon, and silence is your sharpened blade. In the wild, the predator's pause is everything. A lion does not charge at the first scent. It holds unmoved until the moment is ripe. That pause masks its intentions. It hides the power coiled within. In a crowded meeting, in the flicker of a conversation, your silence unsettles opponents. In that stillness, you are the predator waiting for the moment to strike. In negotiations, silence carves control out of air. Studies show that strategic pauses shift you from reaction to calculation, forcing others to reveal their hand. That brief gap between words, it fractures their rhythm. It draws secrets out. Silence turns pressure into leverage. Quiet becomes the court where truth is coerced from lips. You are not stalling, you're strategizing. Stillness gives timing. While they rush to fill the void with empty words, you observe, you analyze, you prepare your strike. In that silence, you see their tells, the quiver in their voice, the hesitation in their eyes, the urge to over-explain. Those who rush fall first, exposed, frantic, predictable. You, in contrast, are the shadow, the strike that arrives when they believe the threat has passed. You are not passive, you are deliberate. You plant mines in the quiet. Watch how panic makes opponents tip their hand. You are still, but lethal. Your silence is a blade sheathed until you draw it. Command your stillness. Hold your posture. Let your gaze lock without a word. Let silence stretch until they crumble. Take control of the battlefield of conversation. Let stillness be the weapon you wield. Let your quiet scrap the pretense from their armor. You are the still shadow that moves unseen. You are the sword that waits to fall. You are the predator in the silence. I strike in silence. My stillness is steel. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Machiavelli. In the theater of power, your presence is your first weapon. Your posture, your gaze, your silence, they are the armor and blade you wield before a word escapes your lips. The mask you wear is not a disguise. It is your true face to the world. Consider the emperor's executioner, a figure who moves with calculated precision, never hesitating to sever ties with those who threaten the realm. This is not cruelty, it is the maintenance of order. In the court of silence, the predator waits, observing, listening, allowing others to reveal their intentions. The serpent sheathes its fangs until the moment of strike is certain. This is the art of leadership, projecting strength through restraint, commanding respect through presence. Leadership is performance. Your every action is a scene in a play where you are both the actor and the director. The audience watches not just your deeds, but your demeanor, your confidence, your composure. A leader who falters in public diminishes their power. A leader who stands unwavering becomes a symbol of authority. To rule is to perform. To perform is to control perception. Master your mask, and you master the game. Appearances are reality. Men can be destroyed, not defeated. Every enemy you face begins within the walls of your own mind. Before you strike at the world, you must confront the assassin in the mirror. Weakness lives in hesitation, in excuses, in the comfort you cling to. Every moment you tolerate it, it multiplies, spreading like rot through the spine of your will. If you do not act, it acts for you, and that action is defeat. Look into the mirror and see the traitor within. Doubt that whispers you're not ready, fear that convinces you to wait, laziness that steals your hours. These are the assassins hiding behind familiar faces, your own reflection smiling back at you. They betray you silently, eroding your empire from inside out. Recognize them, name them, confront them. Once you have identified your weaknesses, the silent kill begins. Excuses are weapons in your enemy's hand, and action is the only counterstrike. Replace hesitation with relentless motion. Strike the habits that waste your energy. Cut the comfort that shields failure. The quiet discipline of your morning, the calculated patience in conversation, the relentless pursuit of skill, they are all part of the blade you wield against yourself first. Only when your internal assassins are dead can you wield your power without compromise. Allow no survivors. Tolerating weakness is inviting it to reproduce. Every unchecked hesitation spawns 1,000 more. Every ignored flaw grows into rebellion within your mind and in your life. The warrior who leaves a single enemy alive in the camp finds them back with reinforcements at dawn. So too with your inner faults. They return stronger if not eliminated completely. This is not a metaphor for passivity or self-punishment. It is a call to ruthless surgical discipline. Train like a predator. Hunt like the assassin. Do not flinch. Do not negotiate with the part of you that seeks comfort over conquest. Command your attention. Focus on your intent. Strike swiftly and silently at the parts of yourself that weaken your empire. Let action replace doubt. Let discipline replace fear. Let strength replace hesitation. Every moment spent excusing weakness is a battlefield lost before the fight even begins. You are the assassin of your own failures. Your victories begin with you. Your empire is built on the ruins of your excuses. Hunt relentlessly, strike decisively, leave nothing standing that threatens your throne. I kill my weakness. I am unstoppable. Men are driven by two wolves within them, one of weakness, one of power. The one you feed becomes your master. Every choice you make is a morsel offered to one of these wolves. The wolf you starve dies quietly, while the wolf you feed grows teeth, claws, and hunger for conquest. Power is not given. It is earned, cultivated, and demanded. The hungry predator inside you must be fed daily. Strength is a wolf that thrives on challenge, on risk, on relentless motion. Every obstacle you face, every skill you sharpen, every moment you push beyond comfort is meat for this predator. It does not eat excuses. It does not feast on hesitation. It devours action, courage, and discipline. Feed it first thing in the morning, in your training, in your mind. Let it grow until its presence is felt by all who approach. The cowardly wolf, the one of weakness, starves in your neglect. Deny it comfort. Deny it excuses. Deny it the idle moments that breed self-doubt. Every time you reject distraction, every time you refuse indulgence in fear, you starve it further. Weakness cannot survive sustained discipline. Left unfed, it curls into a silent, impotent shadow. Your enemies will sense it, your mind will sharpen. Starve the coward, and you awaken the predator. Once the wolf of power is nourished, it transforms you into the pack leader. Your presence alone commands submission. Others feel the force of your inner predator and instinctively align or retreat. Leadership is no longer a question of words. It is a matter of instinct, of aura, of energy. The wolf you feed is a signal to the world. You are not to be underestimated, not to be challenged, not to be ignored. This is not a metaphor for passivity. It is tactical cultivation. Feed the predator relentlessly. Starve the coward mercilessly. Inhabit the body of strength, the mind of vigilance, the heart of authority. Power craves power, and you are its master. Feed your wolf with action. Starve your weakness with discipline. Let the predator inside you rise until all hesitation bows before it. Let every morning, every challenge, every confrontation be a feast for your empire's hunger. I feed strength. I starve weakness. I am the predator. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. Life is a chessboard, and every decision you make is a move on that board. Each choice either strengthens your position or exposes a vulnerability. Victory does not come by chance. It comes from foresight, calculation, and ruthless commitment to the strategy you alone control. Your opening gambit sets the tone for every battle that follows. The first moves in your career, your relationships, your daily routines. They determine the positions you hold decades later. Like a general placing troops at dawn, you must think not only of the moment, but of the battlefield as it will unfold. Invest wisely in your skills, your alliances, your reputation. A poorly placed pawn today can leave your king vulnerable tomorrow. Sacrifice the pawn when necessary. Not every battle is meant to be won. Some losses pave the path to greater conquests. History is full of leaders who surrendered minor positions to secure major victories. Cortés burned his ships to remove retreat as an option, forcing total commitment. In life, every concession you make strategically can become the fulcrum for dominance later. Identify what can be given, what can be risked, and strike when the opponent is unprepared. Think 10 moves ahead. The weak strategists see only the next step, reacting blindly to circumstances. The masters of life see the patterns forming, anticipate the counter moves, and dictate the flow of the game. Machiavelli understood that rulers who calculated beyond the immediate moment survived longer, expanded their domains, and controlled outcomes others thought inevitable. Life rewards the foresighted, punishes the short-sighted, and leaves the unprepared to be devoured by those willing to play the long game. Every interaction, every negotiation, every moment of hesitation is a square on the board. Guard your defenses, exploit weaknesses, and strike decisively. Protect your king, your values, your goals, your core identity, while deploying your pieces strategically. Let no opportunity for advancement pass unconsidered. Let no threat to your empire go unanswered. Move with precision. Move with patience. Move with power. The battlefield is not outside, it is within. The discipline to anticipate, the courage to sacrifice, the foresight to dominate the game 10 moves ahead. These are your weapons. Feed them daily, sharpen them relentlessly, and let the world witness your strategy unfold. I see the board. I strike with foresight. I am unstoppable. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Your will is the fortress that no insult, betrayal, or threat can breach. Disrespect strikes like arrows, sharp and sudden, but the man forged by ritual and discipline does not flinch. He stands immovable, a general whose mind is steel, whose resolve is unshakable. This is the essence of iron will, a mind that bends for no one, a spirit that suffers so others crumble, a command over self so absolute it becomes armor against the world. Every morning, every action, every choice is a strike on the anvil. The forge of habit is relentless. The routines you maintain, the challenges you impose on yourself, they shape you as metal is shaped by fire and hammer. Olympic athletes, elite soldiers, and historical conquerors all understood this. Repetition builds strength, unseen, resilience invisible until tested. Each push-up, each early rise, each calculated refusal is a hammer blow forging your mental steel. Your throne is not inherited, it is hammered into existence through ritualized mastery of yourself. Endurance is the fire that tempers your strength. Suffering is not to be avoided, it is to be sought, embraced, wielded. The generals who led armies to victory did not cower from hardship. They stepped into it day after day until the world itself seemed to break before their patience. Learn to carry discomfort as a weapon. Let exhaustion sharpen your focus. Let hunger, cold, rejection, and challenge mold your determination into a blade that cuts through hesitation and fear. Every trial willingly endured is another layer of armor. Every pain absorbed is a brick in the wall separating you from mediocrity. The shield of resolve is your final safeguard. While the weak crumble at the first storm, you endure. The office, the battlefield, the social arena, none can pierce your composure. Your mind, trained by discipline, reads chaos with clarity and acts with precision. Others may panic, falter, or retreat. You stand, unshaken, the embodiment of controlled fury and calculated patience. Let your iron speak louder than your words. Let your discipline intimidate more than your threats. Command your mornings. Demand the impossible of yourself before the world demands anything. Train your mind in solitude, for it is in the quiet crucible of self-imposed struggle that you become unbreakable. Build rituals that others find tedious or impossible, and let those rituals forge the general who commands both fear and respect without uttering a word. Your life is a battlefield, and the man with iron will always hold the high ground. I endure, I strike, I am unbreakable. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Your throne is no longer a seat, it is a fortress, and you are the king who cannot be shaken. True respect is earned, not by confrontation but by transcendence. When insults bounce harmlessly off your armor, when attacks are absorbed and turned into fuel, you have become untouchable. The world bows not because it must, but because it senses the inevitability of your command, the weight of your presence, and the shadow that moves where it cannot see. The Untouchable King is forged through absolute mastery of self. Every slight, Every provocation, every attempt to diminish you is met with the unyielding strength of a mind that cannot be disturbed. Others may rage, whisper, or conspire, but their efforts are arrows that shatter against walls of iron will and disciplined thought. Your throne is fortified by habit, by ritual, by the relentless cultivation of endurance and cunning. You do not react, you prevail. Attacks slide off because your empire begins within, and no external force can breach what is unbreakable inside. The Shadow General moves unseen but omnipresent. Every decision, every action is calculated to strike with precision, but only revealed when the effect is undeniable. Like Sun Tzu's masters of strategy, you position yourself where your influence is felt more than seen. Your enemies underestimate the quiet, the stillness, the calm observation, and in that misjudgment lies their doom. You strike with inevitability, leaving them to feel the impact before understanding it. Visibility is for the weak. Mastery is in the unseen, the intangible, the psychological domination of space and expectation. Your legacy becomes immortal when self-mastery eclipses apology. Those who bend under criticism or allow ego to fracture their will are forgotten. You, who withstand, who endure, who move like both shadow and throne, carve your name into the consciousness of all who witness it. You write histories with deeds, not explanations. You command respect through presence, through the quiet inevitability that your authority will never falter. Others remember fear and admiration. They never forget the untouchable. To reach this state, fortify your mind daily, guard your routines, sharpen your skills, and never let weakness linger in your court. Move strategically, strike decisively, and allow your reputation to act as both armor and weapon. Let others argue, fight, or falter while you remain the constant, the unstoppable, the untouchable figure in every room, every battlefield, every negotiation. Untouchable I stand, silent I strike, eternal I remain. It is not titles or armies that command respect, but the mastery of oneself. Every lesson, every ritual, every battle you faced culminates here. You are no longer a man who reacts. You are a warrior king whose very presence silences dissent, whose every step leaves a trail of inevitability. This is the apex of power, the convergence of mind, body, and strategy into a force that cannot be challenged, a figure who is obeyed not because he demands it, but because he embodies it. Your mind is the throne upon which you sit, unshaken. Every thought disciplined, every hesitation executed before it can manifest, every emotion harnessed and redirected into strategy. The crown is not worn, it is earned by commanding your inner world first. Those who stumble in thought are weak in life. Those who master themselves bend reality to their will. The morning is your battlefield, the first victory that sets the tone for every action that follows. When you rise before the world does, striking decisively against laziness, doubt, and fear, you claim the day before it can claim you. The weak lie in bed. You stand armed with intention, ready to engage the chaos of life, while others scramble defensively. Stillness becomes your hidden blade. Silence is no longer an absence, but a weapon. Like a predator waiting in the shadows, you let others reveal their vulnerabilities, while you observe, calculating your strike. Every conversation, every encounter is a chessboard. You move unseen, your presence felt, your influence inevitable. Patience is your ally. The rash falls first. The wolf within is fed daily with challenges, growing hungrier, stronger, sharper. You deny comfort, deny hesitation, deny excuses. The coward inside starves, while the apex predator rises, and the world instinctively recognizes your dominance. All distractions, all weak habits, all toxic connections are cut without hesitation. You burn the boats behind you, leaving no fallback, no compromise, no chance for weakness to seep back in. Every decision, every discipline, every sacrifice serves the singular purpose of hardening your resolve, forging your iron will until nothing can sway you, nothing can corrupt you, nothing can diminish your authority. You wear the mask of command, the persona that radiates strength, even when you walk silently through chaos. Appearances are not deception, they are power. The iron mask projects strength. The unseen blade ensures timing, and the theater of power ensures that every eye recognizes your supremacy without a single word spoken. Those who test you are met, not with argument, but with inevitability. Respect is no longer something you request. It radiates unavoidable, like fire from your being. This is the warrior king ascended, mind disciplined, body hardened, instincts sharp, will unbreakable. Every principle you have absorbed merges into one unstoppable presence. You are the predator at the summit, the general who moves unseen, the untouchable king whose throne is fortified by inner mastery and relentless action. You have fed the wolf of strength daily, killed the weakness within, forged the rituals that steel your mind, and burned every bridge that might tempt compromise. The apex does not plead for recognition. The apex commands it through sheer presence. All roads converge here. The throne of your mind, the battlefield of your morning, the weapon of your silence. Every strike you make, every step you take, is precise, inevitable, and commanding. You are not merely a survivor, you are a force that bends the environment to your will, a figure whose name is remembered not for apologies, but for dominance. The world senses the predator within and bows instinctively, for they recognize the apex not through fear alone, but through the unmistakable aura of mastery. No longer is respect borrowed or begged. It is an extension of your being. You do not demand obedience. It is given because you embody power, discipline, and inevitability. Your throne, your wolf, your iron will, your shadow, they are one. You are the final convergence, the warrior who cannot be disrespected, whose empire begins within and radiates outward, shaping reality itself. Silent I command, relentless I rise, untouchable I remain. It is not titles that command respect, but the mastery of oneself. Today, the battlefield waits, and it does not forgive hesitation. Disrespect exists only where weakness is tolerated. Every moment you delay, the world tests you, nudges you, challenges you. This is your summons. Rise now, seize your throne. Claim the sovereignty of your own life before others try to define it for you. The crown is not given. It is forged in the fires of discipline, in the crucible of deliberate action. You are the apex predator of your own existence. Let the world watch as your presence alone bends reality. Let the doubters and the critics feel the weight of your control. Stillness is your sword, patience your shield, and iron will be your armor. Move with precision, act with purpose, and speak only when it amplifies your authority. Disrespect dies the moment you embody command. The weak lash out. The strong make silence a weapon. Your eyes do not plead, your words do not beg, your posture does not compromise. Every step, every glance, every gesture radiates inevitability. The battlefield of life quiets under your command. The chaos that once threatened to consume you now marches to your rhythm, for you are the orchestrator, the unseen general, the untouchable sovereign. Feed your wolf daily. Kill the weakness that whispers excuses in your ear. Forge rituals that steel your mind against hesitation. Burn every bridge that tempts compromise. Let others scatter in indecision, while you move with the confidence of one who knows power is not granted. It is claimed. Every choice you make today writes your legacy. Every action solidifies your empire. Now, take it. Stand in your presence as the embodiment of authority. Let no insult linger. Let no challenge go unanswered. Not with fury, but with inevitability. You are the throne, the predator, the general, who commands silent obedience. Look in the mirror and see not the man you were, but the sovereign you have become. Recite this mantra and let it burn through your veins. I am the throne, and no one dares touch it. Wear it in silence. Wear it in action. Wear it in every battle of the day, for disrespect cannot survive where sovereignty is absolute. The battlefield is yours. The empire is yours. The world obeys the one who masters himself. Step forward, claim it, and let every moment prove that your presence alone is power. I am the throne, and no one dares touch it.